Chapter 4. God blesses some more than others. It is very evident that all men are not created equal. Why does God allow one man to be born in the hot barren desert, destined to forge a difficult and meager existence, while another is sent to some tropical island, where all his food naturally grows all around him with no effort of his own? Another poor chap is sent to some freezing, miserable place where nothing grows, and he struggles every day to find enough to keep alive, while some lucky guy is dropped into the lap of millionaires who provide everything for him all his life. Then how about comparing those born deaf, blind, or handicapped with others, such as movie stars and business tycoons, who are good-looking, extremely rich, hold positions of security, have great health and an excellent education, and are nationally respected? And why is it that some are born with the opportunity to hear the gospel while others are not? How can we say God is fair when he treats his children so unfairly and differently? We read that God is no respecter of persons, but that seems to apply to only a few. Regarding this, Apostle Mark E. Peterson correctly concluded: is there reason then why the type of birth we receive in this life is not a reflection of our worthiness or lack of it in the pre-existence life? Can we account in any other way for the birth of some of the children of God in darkest Africa, or in flood-ridden China, or among the starving hordes of India, while some of the rest of us are born here in the United States? We cannot escape the conclusion that because of performance in our pre-existence, some of us are born as Chinese, some as Japanese, some as Indians, some as Negroes, some as Americans, some as Latter-day Saints. These are rewards and punishments, fully in harmony with his established policy in dealing with sinners and saints, rewarding all according to their deeds. Race problems as they affect the church address to Convention of Teachers of Religion at BYU, Mark E. Peterson, August 27, 1954. Before we can completely understand ourselves or others, we must believe that we lived before we came to earth. This was revealed to many of the prophets, such as Jeremiah. Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly I knew thee, and before thou comest forth out of the womb I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Jer. 1:4-5. Thus, some were chosen to be prophets while others were not. A belief in man's premortal life is the only reasonable and justifiable explanation for such differences among men. If we cannot believe in a life before we came to earth, then we might as well stop right here and claim that God is unfair, biased, and is a racist. We talk about all men being created equal, but they certainly are not born equal. Indeed, every man is born differently from all others. His fingerprints, the composition of his eyes, his hair and his DNA, all prove that he is entirely different from everyone else. Continuing on with God's promises to a certain people with special blessings, we read how Abraham's grandson, Jacob, whose name was later changed to Israel, had 12 favored sons called Israelites. These sons were not only special to Jacob, but also chosen by God. But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant, I have chosen thee. Isaiah 41:8-9. The Jews have claimed they were the chosen people of Israel, but they came from only one of the sons of Jacob. There were still 11 other sons and their descendants, called Israelites, who were also chosen. The children of these 12 sons finally ended up in Egypt under the bondage of the Egyptians until Moses came. The Lord then spoke to Moses, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. Exodus 19:3-6. From this declaration it becomes clear what God was trying to do. He wanted to 1. Deliver Israel from slavery and bondage. 2. Separate them from all other people. 3. Protect them from enemies and evil influences. 4. Institute his own laws among the people of Israel. 5. Help Israel to abide in his covenants. 6. Help them to be a peculiar treasure to him. 7. Consider them above all people. 8. Have them become the kingdom of God on earth. 9. Create them into a holy and distinct nation. 10. Help them be the priests of God to bear the priesthood with its ordinances and laws. The book of Deuteronomy is a repeat of the laws to the children of Israel, and in that book the Lord again says to the Israelites, For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Deut. 7:6-8. The Lord so favored Israel over all the other nations that he said, he would even destroy the others to preserve his chosen people. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them, and utterly destroy them, thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor shew mercy unto them. Then will the Lord drive out all these nations from before you, and ye shall possess greater nations and mightier than yourselves. Every place whereon the soles of your feet shall tread shall be yours. From the wilderness in Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even unto the uttermost sea shall your coast be. There shall no man be able to stand before you. For the Lord your God shall lay the fear of you and the dread of you upon all the land that ye shall tread upon, as he hath said unto you. Deut. 7:1-2, 11:23-25. Thus, there can be no doubt, according to the scriptures, that God does favor some people over others. The reason for such favoritism is because he gave them certain promises and selections before they were born, based on their conduct there. Certain people were given responsibilities, ordinations, and every man who has a calling to minister to the inhabitants of the world was ordained to that very purpose in the Grand Council of Heaven before this world was. TPJS, page 365. Some men were chosen to be ministers of the gospel and to bear the priesthood, while others were not. The Israelites were the focus of Christ's ministry, and Peter reiterated their special calling. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should shew forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. I Peter 2:9. These chosen people were given the responsibility to be a guiding light to others. They received revelations, scriptures, and spiritual gifts above all other people and nations. We understand that when God made man in his own image and pronounced him very good, that he made him white. We have no record of any of God's favored servants being of a black race. All his prophets and apostles belong to the most handsome race on the face of the earth, Israel, who still, as represented in the scattered tribe of Judah, bear the impress of their former beauty. In this race was born his son Jesus, who, we are told, was very lovely, and in the express image of his Father's person, and every angel who ever brought a message of God's mercy to man, was beautiful to look upon, clad in the purest white, and with a countenance bright as the noonday sun. Juvenile Instructor, 3:157. In spite of all the grumblings, persecutions, and opposition to the house of Israel, they remain a chosen people, unto whom God gave special favors, responsibilities, and covenants. John the Beloved, the Revelator, and the one who was translated, saw the holy city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, and on the 12 gates of the city he saw the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Rev. 21:12 simply said, the tribes of Israel were a chosen people before they were born, and were assigned a special mission.